So with Boruto chapter 58 dropping next week, I do want to have a discussion with Boruto and Kawaki's future, especially within the next couple of chapters within the Boruto manga. Of course, as of Boruto chapter 56, we did learn that Boruto has a new resolve alongside with Kawaki, and that is to train. Of course, with Boruto right now with his Karma Seal, he is at about 80% Otsukification, and he only has about 20% left for the Karma Seal to fully process onto his body, and at that point, once his body hits 100%, he will lose his body to Momoshiki. And Kawaki does give him a pretty good solution on how to save his own life, and that is by preparing his own vessel by giving someone else the Karma Seal. So in the hypothetical scenario that Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body, Boruto would be able to reincarnate into someone else's body to save his own life. In order to do that, he would have to find a good vessel, and that vessel of course is Code. We do know that Code is one of the only people to survive Jigen's ritual alongside with Kawaki, so the only person now that he can actually give karma to and prepare his own vessel is Code. However, the problem is that Code is insanely powerful. He is stronger than Boro, he's stronger than Delta, he is actually stronger than Jigen, by the way, without the limiters. Of course, right now Code, he is currently nerfed, he has limiters that are nerfing his power, which does make him essentially weaker than Jigen. However, when he does have the limiters released from his body, he is said to be stronger than Jigen himself, and with an enemy like that, Boruto and Kawaki's current power level is definitely not enough to fight someone like that. Of course, Code is also looking for Boruto and Kawaki because he wants to feed them to the Ten Tails, so they definitely do have plans for each other. But when it comes to Boruto and Kawaki, the one thing that they have to do is train. We do know that now Boruto has a resolve to get stronger in order to fight Code, in order to save his life as well. And to be honest with you, there is a lot of things that Boruto can do to become way stronger, and I do want to have a discussion on his future training arc that I think that's gonna happen in the next couple of chapters of the Boruto manga. And the thing is, Boruto has a lot of great jutsus. He has the Rasengan, he has the Karma Seal, he has Shadow Clone Jutsu, he has the Jogan as well, at least according to the Boruto anime. But forget all that, that's not what I'm trying to talk about in terms of abilities. I think Boruto needs to try something new. I think Boruto needs to learn something new, something different from his old arsenal in order for him to get stronger. And this is why I think this is the perfect time for Boruto to try to learn Kenjutsu. So if you don't know what Kenjutsu is, that is basically swordsmanship. There's actually not many swordsmen within the Naruto / Boruto verse. Yeah, we got Sasuke, we got Killer Bee, we got people like Mifune from the 4th Great Ninja War. However, there aren't many people that actually know Kenjutsu, and we do know that as of Boruto episode 1 or Boruto chapter 1, whatever you want to call it, in the flash forward, we do see that Teen Boruto does have a sword. Yes, indeed, he does have his own sword, so we can imply that in the future, he becomes a swordsman. And if you look closely, I think we can all agree that that sword that Boruto is holding is Sasuke's sword. So it definitely does look like Sasuke gave Boruto his sword before he quote-unquote died or was written out of the story, because as of the 40 seconds that we've seen in the future, it does seem like Sasuke is missing from the story, since Boruto is wearing Sasuke's cloak, his sword, and his headband. So that definitely sets up a lot of things for the future in the Boruto manga, and I do want to talk about it because I think Boruto learning Kenjutsu will be very crucial for the future, especially with his current power level, because when you fight a Karma Seal user like Code, ninjutsu is essentially useless. We saw what happened against Jigen, Naruto, and Sasuke. They were trying to use jutsu and it was useless against someone like Jigen, and the Karma Seal has saved Boruto and Kawaki's life countless amount of times, especially with the amount of ninjutsu that they were able to absorb. So I don't think Boruto should learn a jutsu to fight someone like Code, and that's why I think he should pick up a sword and try to learn Kenjutsu. And the reason why I think he should learn it is because his master is Sasuke Uchiha, the best swordsman in the Naruto verse. Before y'all say Killer Bee, yes, I know Killer Bee whooped Sasuke's ass and shit with him, but this is adult Sasuke we're talking about. Adult Sasuke is really out here fighting Otsutsuki's with a sword, bro. You don't see Killer Bee doing that. I just want to remind you guys that Killer Bee got washed by Kinshiki. Meanwhile, Sasuke's boxing Kinshiki, whooping his ass, fighting Momoshiki, Ishiki, Jigen, all with the sword. Like, this is the best swordsman and the strongest swordsman, at least in the Naruto / Boruto verse. You have the best swordsman in the entire verse, and I think there's no other better person to train you on how to learn Kenjutsu than Mr. Sasuke Uchiha himself. When you have a sensei like that, I think that is the perfect person to teach you how to do Kenjutsu. We obviously know that Teen Boruto, he does have a sword, so we can imply that he can do Kenjutsu in the future, and in order to fight someone like Code, ninjutsu, I don't think that's the answer. And even though I said ninjutsu is useless against a Karma Seal user, there are actually actually other forms of ninjutsu that could be used to attack and potentially kill a karma user. And I'm gonna go more into that in another video, and that kind of pertains for Kawaki more than Boruto, because honestly with Kawaki he can learn some insane nature elemental attacks that actually can nullify the karma seal. I'll go into that in the future in another video that's probably gonna drop around next week. But with Boruto, honestly I think he should definitely pick up a sword. This man is gonna be so nasty with Kenjutsu, especially with his master being Sasuke. We saw what Sasuke could do. This man is insane with the sword. Man's out here fighting Otsutskis. When you have someone like that as your teacher, I think it's super imperative that Boruto should pick up a sword. You literally have the best swordsman in the entire series as your master, so I don't think there's any excuse for him not to pick up a sword. We do know that Teen Boruto does become a swordsman since he does have Sasuke's sword in the future, so I think that's gonna be pretty insane, and that's gonna make him even more versatile than before. And we've seen in the past the karma seal users that were fought, such as Jigen, Naruto and Sasuke were fighting him, and they were limited to using their ninjutsu, so they had to stick with taijutsu. And with Boruto, of course, he is a pretty good taijutsu user. He knows gentle fist. He was taught by his mom and the rest of the Hyuga clan. He has pretty good taijutsu. However, when it comes to fighting someone like Code, I don't think using gentle fist against him is gonna do much. That's why I really think Boruto should try to learn how to do Kenjutsu, since there's a lot of variety that you can do when it comes to fighting with the sword. We saw with Sasuke when he was fighting Kinshiki back in episode 52 of the Boruto anime, he was cloaking himself with chakra to keep up with Kinshiki while he was battling him, showing that he can actually increase his speed and power once he adds chakra onto his blade. And we've seen stuff like this back in Shippuden, such as with Asuma's blade. He was able to add wind chakra to his blade, so I imagine once Boruto does pick up a sword, I think he'll be able to infuse other chakra natures with this sword. Like imagine Boruto being able to use thunderclap arrow with this sword. Imagine being able to cloak his entire sword with lightning chakra. This man is going to be such a broken character in the future if you were to pick up Kenjutsu, because there's going to be a lot of variety when he fights. And to be honest with you, it is now the perfect time, since fighting someone like Code, ninjutsu is not going to work. Like I said, there are other ways to use ninjutsu to fight a karma seal user, such as pure nature ninjutsu, which actually cannot be absorbed. We saw this with Boros virus. I'm gonna get into that next week with Kawaki, but with Boruto, he should definitely pick up a sword, dog. I think it's now the best time. We do see in the future he does become a sword fighter, and I think there is no other time than now. So let me know what you think about this video. Do you think it's time for Boruto to pick up a sword? Do you think it's time for him to learn Kenjutsu? Because right now I think it's the perfect time. There's no other better time. He has to get stronger. He has to fight Code in the future so he can give him the karma seal and prepare his own vessel, just in the case that Momoshiki does reincarnate through Boruto's body. This is something that he has to do, or else he will die. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, and tell me, what do you think is gonna happen in Boruto chapter 58? Do you think we're gonna get into a training arc? Do you think we're gonna get some more information on Code and Ada? Do you think that Code's gonna pull up in the village? I've seen a lot of crazy shit, and I've seen some fake leaks like, oh, Boruto versus the world. That's fake, by the way. So the whole, oh, Boruto versus the world, nah son, fuck out of here, that's fake. Those leaks are fake. When it comes to leaks for the Boruto manga, the leaks always come out like a couple days before the chapter drops. I've been seeing stuff like that came out last week that said Boruto and Naruto versus the world. Like, I'm sorry, that shit sounds whack. I've seen some of this stuff on Instagram, fake as fuck, like I said, so don't believe that. The only spoilers that you should really believe are from Twitter, straight from Twitter, either from Abdul or Organic Dinosaur. Those are the only two reliable sources that I really trust. But I can't wait to talk about next week's chapter when it comes out. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.